Hi, Wellness Warriors. Welcome back to another episode of the Wellness Inspired Podcast, a place where you can find inspiration, motivation, and empowerment in the pursuit of a wellness lifestyle. I'm your host, Sherry Davidson. I'm a wellness coach and acupuncturist in Houston, Texas, and I am deeply passionate about health and well-being. And as always, I am here with my co-host, Finn. And if you're new to the podcast, Finn is my terrier mixed rescue dog, trail runner, and loyal companion. He is also a therapy dog and greeter at Element 5 Acupuncture and Wellness. And today I have something fun to talk about. We are going to talk about the growing trend of creating a snug room in our homes. Yes, a snug room. So what prompted this, you might be asking? Well, besides the fact that I am a former interior designer and I deeply believe our environment impacts our well-being. Yes, that. And recently, I stumbled upon an article in the Wall Street Journal by Lexi Mainland. It was titled, Why Americans Want a Snug, a special room that is an instant magic pill of comfort. And under the title said, as sprawling, noisy open concept floor plans prove divisive, some homeowners are adopting the British Snug, a small, comfy, den-like space where a television doesn't dominate the decor or vibe. So that's what I want to do today. I want to explore what a snug space is, why Americans yearn for these cozy havens today, and what it means for our well-being. But first, yes, if you've been listening to the podcast, you know that I'm going to talk about the Wellness Riverboat Cruise, because I am planning a European Wellness Riverboat Cruise in 2024, the end of this year, probably in October. I am going to meet my friend Tammy Haroka next week. I was supposed to meet her this week, but unfortunately last week I tested positive for COVID. So yay me. But I believe I'm on the other side of it. And we have rescheduled our meeting, our dinner for next Monday. So my friend Tammy Haroka is a travel concierge and friend. And she's also been on the podcast. We talked about wellness travel. So she's helping me plan this great adventure. I have yet to commit to a river, but I'm thinking of a 7-night cruise on the Danube River. We would cruise through Austria, Germany, Hungary, and Slovakia. There will be active sightseeing, so hiking, biking, maybe some running. There will also be yoga, wellness talks, relaxing, and locally sourced cuisine. So stay tuned for more details. I should have them very soon. I already have many people interested, so get ready to grab your spot. Okay, enough of that. Let's do this. How about a snug? The Wall Street Journal article begins with a great quote from Leonardo da Vinci from 500 years ago. And it says, small rooms set the mind on the right path. Large ones cause it to go astray. What a powerful quote to begin this article with. I actually love that quote so much. I put it in my journal. It's a keeper for me. But I want to set the stage with some history here. And I did a little research because I wanted to know where the snug room came from. And the concept of a snug room in Britain has a rich history rooted in traditional interior design practices. The term snug originally referred to a small, private, and comfortable space within a home, often designed for relaxation and socialization. Now, while the exact origins of snug rooms are challenging to pinpoint, their presence can be tracked back several centuries. That's a long time. In medieval times, snug spaces were incorporated into larger manor houses and castles. These smaller rooms provided a more intimate setting compared to the grand halls, serving as retreats for reading, conversation, and enjoying a quiet moment away from the bustling activities of the household, or, I don't know, the castlehold. I don't know, household just seems a little limiting for a castle. Anyway, let's see. During, where were we? Victorian era. Yeah, the Victorian era in the 19th century, the idea of a snug room evolved, becoming more prominent in the middle class homes, so not in castles anymore. Victorian snugs were characterized by warm and rich furnishings, plush upholstery, and a focus on creating a cozy atmosphere. These rooms often featured elements like intricate woodwork, patterned wallpaper, and ornate fireplaces, all contributing to a sense of comfort and hominess. In the early mid-20th century, the role of a snug room continued to adapt. With the rise of suburban living, the snug became a space where families gathered for informal activities. It was not uncommon to find snug rooms furnished with comfortable sofas, soft lighting, and family-friendly decor. So as you can see, the concept persisted throughout the decades, adapting to changing interior design trends. And today's snug rooms often draw inspiration from traditional and modern design elements, incorporating personalized touches to cater to individual preferences for relaxation and well-being. So in essence, the history of a snug room in Britain reflects a timeless appreciation for creating intimate, comfortable spaces within the home, places where people can unwind, connect, and find solace in their busy lives. And according to one interior designer in the Wall Street Journal article, he said it was the cocoon of the home. And to me, that means a warm, inviting, and safe space. So my question to you is, do you have a snug in your home? I like to consider my whole apartment. I live in an old 1930s apartment, which I absolutely adore. It is small. I consider my whole apartment to be a snug room. I also believe that a home should reflect the people living there. So therefore, I believe healthy, good design takes a lifetime. Your home is constantly reflecting back to you. So make sure you give your home, your environment, purpose, and meaning. And FYI, I'm currently working on some content around this topic. And if you're interested, so stay connected. I should get it out in the next couple of months. I'm excited about it. It's exciting to think about. Like I said in the beginning, I really do believe that our environments are a crucial part of our health and well-being. We need to be mindful and thoughtful about what we surround ourselves with. So I always like Maria Kondo. I can't remember her name, but she tells you to pick up an object and ask yourself if it sparks joy in yourself. And I really do love that, because this is what you look at every single day, and it is always reflecting back to you. Make sure you like the reflection. Okay, so let's move on. And the first question that I want to dive into, the first question that comes to mind is, why are snug rooms becoming so popular today in America? Now, we know that this is a common design element in Britain, but why now? Why is the Wall Street Journal publishing an article on snug rooms in America today? And I believe that in a world that is constantly on the move, people are seeking solace and comfort within the confines of their home. The Wall Street Journal article suggests these snug rooms act as an instant magic pill of comfort. What does that tell you? In our fast-paced lives, having a dedicated space that exudes coziness can profoundly impact our mental and emotional well-being. And I think the trend of snug rooms in America can be attributed to various societal and lifestyle factors that have gained prominence in the recent years. So here are some reasons I think snug rooms are becoming trendy in America. This is not what the article said. The article was just a catalyst for all of my thoughts. These are mine. These are not, I believe her name was Lexi Mainland. These are my thoughts. So I believe the number one reason is wellness and self-care focus. We have shifted to a wellness and self-care focus. Mental health and self-care are priorities today. And snug rooms provide people with that dedicated space to unwind, relax, and take a break from the stresses of daily life. This emphasis on well-being has led people to seek environments that contribute to comfort and tranquility. I think another reason that snug rooms are trending in America today is it has to do with a work-life balance. You know, many people spend more time at home with the rise of remote work and flexible schedules, and the need for balance between work and personal life has led to a desire for spaces within a home that fosters relaxation and rejuvenation. So snug rooms offer a retreat from the demands of work and technology. I think another one is to escape from digital overload. I think that more and more of us are becoming mindful and aware of the impact of this digital overload. The constant presence of digital devices and screens in modern life has created a desire for analog, screen-free spaces, and snug rooms often incorporate elements like books, cozy furnishings, and ambient lighting, providing a break from the digital overload that many people experience. Now, this one I thought about, but I'm not sure. Candace Rogers, my podcast host of the Health and Wellness podcast, will be on soon. I'm actually interviewing her in 2 weeks about well design. So I'd love to ask her about this. But I think that people want to individualize a living space more. I think the trend towards personalization and individualization of living spaces has contributed to the popularity of snug rooms because people are looking to express their unique styles and preferences in their homes. And snug rooms provide an opportunity for personalized interior design. Now, with that said, I feel like I have mixed feelings about that. I'm going to kind of talk out loud or think out loud, I guess is what I should say. Sometimes I feel like, we look at social media, we look at Pinterest. Pinterest is really big for interior design, and we get all of these design ideas and all of these design concepts, and then we implement them into our space. But what they're lacking is they might represent us in some way, but what they're really lacking is this personalization of interior design. So there's nothing personalized, even though it might touch the surface of their personality. Like I have a very, not me, but like maybe somebody has a very modern taste. And so all their furniture is modern. Well, yes, that is representative and reflects who they are, but there's nothing personal about it. There's nothing that has to do with their life. Maybe there's a picture of their family up. I guess what I'm trying to kind of talk out here is that I think there is this lack of individualization for living spaces, right? That we are trying to replicate to a T this perfection that we see on social media or in the magazines. And there is this lack of connection because it's not personalized to you. So I think that's what I mean by that. But I would love to talk to Candace. So hopefully I made sense saying all of that, and I have it on my notes to ask Candace about this one and see what she thinks. Another reason that I think that snug rooms are trending in America is that the pandemic-driven lifestyle changes that we've had. COVID has reshaped lifestyle patterns, promoting many to reevaluate their home environments. With this increased time spent at home, I think that individuals are investing in creating spaces that contribute to a sense of comfort and security. And snug rooms fit well into this shift. And one of the last, but definitely not the least reason why I think snug rooms are trending in America. I have talked about this before. It is a common theme throughout my podcast. I might kind of pop it in there every once in a while. I think I just did for the holidays because it's the perfect time to talk about hygge. And I think that hygge has influenced the trend of snug rooms in America. And for those of you who don't know, hygge is the Danish concept which emphasizes creating cozy and comfortable atmospheres. It's gained popularity worldwide, and snug rooms align with the principles of hygge, and the trend may reflect a global appreciation for creating warm and inviting spaces. There is a difference between the two, and I will talk about that later in this episode. It will actually be how I wrap everything up. But first I want to summarize what we've just been talking about. And the trend of snug rooms in America is a response to the evolving priorities and lifestyle choices of individuals, with a focus on well-being, comfort, and the desire for personalized and inviting spaces. that is that piece of our discussion. And now I want to talk about the health benefits of snug rooms. So how does this concept enhance our well-being? Well, number one, stress reduction. Creating a cozy, comfortable environment in a snug room can help reduce stress levels, and the calming atmosphere promotes relaxation and a sense of security. A snug room can also improve sleep quality. So let's just say you have a snug bedroom with comfortable furnishing and a soothing ambience. This can contribute to better sleep quality. And we all know a restful sleep environment is crucial for overall health. Another one is a snug room can enhance mental well-being. Having a designated snug space where you can unwind and escape from the daily stressors can positively impact mental well-being. It provides a retreat for relaxation and self-care. And the last one I will mention here is it promotes mindfulness. And I love mindfulness. You guys all know that. A snug room can serve as a space for mindfulness activities such as meditation or quiet reflection. You can also journal in a snug room. This promotes mental clarity and a sense of presence. And I keep saying this, and I didn't list this here when I was writing and generating the content, but I have mentioned it several times, and it is a sense of safety, comfort, and safety. And sometimes I think we need that space of safety where we can actually relax and let go. So that would be another one that I would add here. So, well, with all of that said, can you imagine having a snug room, a space where you can escape from the chaos, unwind, and recharge? And I just want to remind you here, it's not just about having comfortable chairs and soft blankets. It is about creating an environment that nurtures your soul. This intentional focus on creating comfort can reduce stress, improve mood, and enhance overall happiness. So are you ready to create a snug room? That is my question. Before I give you some tips on how to do that, let's draw a parallel to the Danish concept of hygge. Hygge is about creating a warm and inviting atmosphere, embracing simplicity, and finding joy in the little things. It's about cultivating a sense of comfort and contentment. Interestingly, the concept of snug rooms aligns quite well with the essence of hygge. Both emphasize the importance of creating spaces that promote relaxation and connection. So while a snug room and the Danish design concept of hygge share similarities in creating cozy and comfortable spaces, there are some distinctions between the two, and I want to share those with you. There might be a little bit of overlap here, but let's just roll with it. So I think the number one distinction between the two is a cultural origin. So a snug room, the term snug room is more broadly used in English to describe a comfortable and cozy space. Hygge is a Danish concept that encompasses the feeling of comfort, coziness, and contentment. So it goes beyond the physical space to include the overall sense of well-being. So that's, I think, one of the big differences is that one is used to describe a space, whereas hygge, its cultural origin is about this. It's much broader. It's about this overall sense of well-being and not just about the physical space. Another one is the philosophy. So the snug room philosophy primarily focuses on the physical attributes of the space, such as comfortable furnishings and a cozy atmosphere. Hygge encompasses, again, a broader philosophy of enjoying life's simple pleasures, fostering a connection with others, and creating a sense of warmth and connection. So they talk a lot about connections, a lot about the simple pleasures of just being with somebody or even being with yourself. They're very similar. Another distinction is the social aspect. So snug rooms can be a personal or private space for relaxation. Hygge emphasizes social aspects, so encouraging shared experiences with friends and family, and it often involves creating a warm and inviting atmosphere for communal activities. I think the concept of hygge in the West has become more like a snug room because they talk a lot about, kind of this retreat away from the world, whereas historically, In the Danish concept, it was founded because they have such long winters, long dark winters, and it's cold. So community and connection was super important to them. So hygge was more focused on this aspect, the social aspect. But again, I think it got westernized in the States and became kind of a retreat. And the last thing I'm going to mention here is timeless versus trend. Snug room in term is more generic and may be used to describe any comfortable space. It doesn't necessarily carry a specific cultural or philosophical connotation. Hygge, on the other hand, reflects a specific Danish cultural approach to living, and it has gained popularity as a lifestyle trend beyond Denmark. And I think those are some of the biggest differences. So there you have it. A snug room and the concept of hygge both center around creating cozy and inviting spaces. But hygge is a broader cultural concept that extends beyond the physical environment to encompass a lifestyle of comfort, connection, and well-being. So historically, they are different, but to me, from a wellness perspective, they're the same. Now, for some practical tips and suggestions. So remember, creating a snug room involves thoughtful consideration of design elements that contribute to comfort, relaxation, and a cozy atmosphere. Here are some tips for crafting your own snug haven. So number one, comfortable seating. Invest in plush and comfortable seating options such as a cozy sofa, oversized chair, or a collection of soft cushions and pillows. And choose fabrics that are inviting and soothing to the touch. You know, I love my sofa. I've had my sofa forever. I really, really need a new one. I got it at Crate and Barreled when I was married, and I didn't really like the color, but it's an L-shaped sofa and it is just like a huge cloud. And it's probably one of my favorite things right now in my life. And I just don't want to get rid of it, but I really need to because I really need a new sofa. Okay, number two, you want to make sure you have soft textures. So integrate soft textures throughout the room. So consider using warm blankets, fuzzy throws, and soft rug. These textures will add a tactile element that enhances the overall coziness. Another tip is to use warm lighting. So opt for warm ambient lighting to create a soothing atmosphere. Use table lamps, floor lamps, or string lights with soft, warm hues. You want to avoid harsh, bright lights that can disrupt the coziness ambiance. So definitely stay away from the white lights. Tip number 4 is natural elements. You want to bring in natural elements to add warmth and connection to the outdoors. So incorporating plants, wooden furniture, or natural fibers and decor items. So this can contribute to a sense of tranquility. I promise. I have a ton of plants in my house. Tip number 5 is personalized decor. We talked a little bit about this earlier. So infuse the room with elements that reflect your personal style, not just something that you see on Instagram or on Pinterest. I don't really know how to articulate this yet because you probably are saying, well, if I like that, that's my personal style. Well, yes, it is, but that's just scratching the surface. And maybe that's a good way to say it. You're just scratching the surface when you design something perfect out of a magazine or off Pinterest. You need to do some self-discovery and find out your personal style and preferences. And you want to display cherished items, so artwork or photographs that invoke positive memories and emotions. Remember, does it spark joy? Your space reflects back to you. So give it meaning and give it purpose. Tip number 6, cozy colors. So choose a color palette that promotes relaxation. So soft neutrals, warm earth tones, and muted shades can create a calming and inviting atmosphere. And consider incorporating pops of color for accents and visual interest. So if you have a very neutral space, maybe you put a pop of red in it. But you wouldn't want to do a space, well, unless it's your personal preference and brings you peace, of a primary yellow. One thing I've read about primary yellow, the psychology of color, and if you want your house guests to stay limited days, then you paint the room yellow because yellow is very agitating. So unless that color for some reason brings you peace, then I would stay away from like a primary yellow and do more neutral warm tones and not stark white. But you could always do a pop if you needed that. The 7th tip I have for you is a reading nook or corner. So if you have the space in your home, create a dedicated reading nook with a comfortable chair or small corner with a bookshelf. This encourages moments of quiet contemplation and relaxation. This is especially great if you love to read or love to journal. Another tip, candles or incense. Now, this is really big in the Danish concept of hygge. However, they use a lot of candles, but mainly for the ambience of the candles, not so much for the aromatherapy. So here I am referring to both the ambience of a candle as well as the senses. So you want to engage all of your senses. So adding a touch of aromatherapy with scented candles or incense could be great. But you want to make sure you select fragrances that are calming, such as lavender or chamomile, to enhance overall sensory experience. Another tip is make it a technology-free zone, because we want that break from technology and the digital overload that we get all the time. So consider making your snug room a technology-free zone. So limit the presence of electronic devices to encourage that mindfulness and relaxation. And this can be a space for quiet reflection and escape from the digital distractions that we have every day. Now, I've got a few more tips for you. Tip number 10, layer decor. Layering is key to creating a snug and inviting space. You want the layers, the textures. So combine different textures, patterns, materials in your decor items. Layering adds depth and visual interest to a room. And the next one I'm going to mention here is the addition of soft music or sounds. You want to incorporate soft background music or nature sounds to create a tranquil ambience. Consider using a small speaker or sound system to enhance the auditory experience. I have the Apple Pod, and I just say, "Hey Siri, play chill music," and it's probably going to play right now. It's fantastic. Okay, the last tip I'm going to give you here is to include a fireplace, faux fireplace, or you can use candles. But you want to do this to add a sense of warmth and coziness. And the flickering flames create a comforting focal point in the room. Okay, let's sum all of this up. So first, you want to consider the elements that make you feel most at ease. So we're all different. So you have to do a little self-discovery. Maybe you already know. If not, you'll have to do some self-discovery to personalize your snug room to reflect your sense of comfort, not someone else. Whether it's soft lighting, plush pillows, soothing colors, candles, incense, whatever aroma you choose, whatever that is, it should reflect you. Second, incorporate nature into your space. Plants or natural materials can be added for a touch of serenity, I promise. And finally, embrace the joy of simplicity. Sometimes it's the uncomplicated moments that bring the most happiness. The key to a snug room is personalization and creating a space that brings you joy and comfort. Experiment with these tips and tailor them to your preferences to craft a snug room that truly feels like your own retreat. Okay, we did it. So as we wrap today's episode up, I encourage you to take a moment and reflect on the spaces within your home. Do you have a snug room, or could you create one? And remember, it's not just about following a trend, but prioritizing your well-being. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the power of snug. Until next time, stay cozy, my friends. If you like what you hear, please subscribe to the podcast and share with your family and friends. You can also give me a rating and review wherever you listen to your podcast. It helps others find me as well. To get updates on new episodes and wellness inspiration in your inbox, please join the Wellness Inspired community. Go to thewellnessinspiredpodcast.com to sign up. I'll put the link to the website in the show notes so you can click and join. Also, there's a Facebook community at The Wellness Inspired, and you can follow me on Instagram at wellness_inspired. If you're in the Houston area or just visiting and interested in our services, acupuncture, herbal medicine, cupping, zen shiatsu, or dry needling therapy, contact us. You can find out more on our website at element5om.com. That's element5, the number 5om.com. And again, I'll put the link in the show notes. If you're interested in health and wellness coaching, we can connect in the clinic or on Zoom. Reach out to us and we'll get you on the schedule. And as always, I would love to hear your feedback. I am dedicated to bringing you great content that is inspiring and informative with an artsy, fun, edgy spin. Thank you so much for listening. We'll meet here again next time. And remember, never stop exploring, learning, loving, and being you. Bye.